Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derek Brent, your Memphis Wire on SportsView360.com, covering the Memphis Tigers. And today I just want to talk about a report that was put out 2 days ago on May 8, 2025. And that's the news that broke that Memphis will be renewing its rivalry with the Louisville Cardinals for at least the next few games, few seasons in the future. It will be this year. It will be the first of a 6 game series, home and home, I believe. The first game will be played this season, December 13th, 2025, down in Louisville at the KFC Young Arena, KFC Young Center down there in downtown Louisville. But the future dates of it, then the following year, it's going to be played at FedEx Forum in 2026, 2027. But after that, the dates and the locations have not been determined. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think it's going to be, you know, this year it'll be Louisville, next year it'll be Memphis, then it'll be Louisville again, unless they find a neutral site to have the game where both teams fan bases can have an impact. But I think this is good news, man. This is good news. This is another opportunity for the Tigers to play somebody really good outside of the conference during non-conference play. Resume building opportunity. Hopefully Louisville has a good squad this upcoming season. They had one last season, and but the thing about it is that this is not any opponent. This is a former nemesis of the Tigers. From back in the day, because these two programs were joined at the hip. There was both of these programs were at played in the same conference for 4 different times, 4 different leagues: Missouri Valley Conference, the Metro Conference, Conference USA, which I'm very familiar with, in AAC. But Louisville has moved on to the ACC, and moved on to bigger and better things. And right now, man, you look at the record between the two teams. Louisville has Memphis by a lot of games, 54-36 all time. So they hold the edge in this series. So I think this is good, man. I think I talked about this last year in one of my previous videos, because they were talking about there was a chatter was building up last year before the start of last season about Louisville and Memphis wanting to play each other in the future, and they got it done. They finally got it done, and I think this is great for the program, great for Louisville, grateful to see a program from powerful conference stepping up, wanting to play Memphis in the before conference play start. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, um, man, look, I think Memphis is gonna have another really good season. And another really good opportunity for them to add more to their resume. Like last year. Last year they had a really good resume. You know, and the thing about it is that a lot of these games that they're playing, right, in the non-conference play are gonna be really good. They're gonna have some of these games are built-in rivalries. Like you got a game against Ole Miss that's gonna be played um in Oxford, and then you got Mississippi State, the other team in Mississippi, playing in Stark Vegas. So both games against the Mississippi schools will be played down the road in Mississippi. Then you got the game against UNLV. You'll be playing at home at FedEx Forum, where former head coach you play against your former head coach Josh Pastner. You know, then you head back to the Bahamas for this tournament, the Baja Marcus Challenge. Last time you were in the Bahamas was 2023. You know where you playing the Jordan for Atlantis. So I mean, they're gonna have the opportunities, more than enough opportunities to have a really good resume prior to heading into AAC play, where they don't. Well, we saw that they don't have the opportunities to, add to that resume. You know what I'm saying? But this is the non-conference. The non-conference play is where a lot of the fan base are excited. They're excited about playing teams like Ole Miss, playing teams like a Mississippi State, playing teams like now playing Louisville. Be interesting to see how much fans travel up there to Louisville for that rivalry. Because that's what a lot of the diehard fans wanted to talk about, wanted to have. Play a game against a Louisville. You know what I mean? So interesting. You know what I'm saying? So glad that Penny Hardaway and Louisville were able to, with Memphis, were able to talk about this, get together, and make it happen. You know, but other than that, man, there's been um, you still got the in other news, you still got the PG Haggerty situation going on. The last post that I saw about that was that Memphis had reportedly pulled away from the removed themselves from the running of having a chance of bringing back PJ Haggerty. Supposedly, North Carolina State's supposed to be the front runner to land Haggerty, but there's been no official, you know, movement between those two parties between Haggerty and North Carolina State. And North Carolina State have brought in a bunch of players as well. So, and then Dan Danger, that's still up in the air, and who knows how long that's gonna take for that to manifest. NCAA is gonna drag the feet with that, in my opinion. That's how I feel it's gonna happen with that. But no new movement on that on the Peach Haggerty situation. No movement on Dan Danger's waiver. So just gotta wait and see. And don't forget that. Let's not forget that the roster is complete. This roster is far from being complete. There's still more opportunities out there for Penny Hardaway to add players. So don't get it twisted. But I like what he's brought in. I like what he's brought in so far with the players he's brought in. Julius Stefford, Aaron Bradshaw, Sincere Parker. He has a lot of players. That I believe can step up and take on that PJ Haggerty role and become a scorer for this team. But yes, they are a really good team with Haggerty coming back, but I just don't see it happening. So, all right, y'all. So that's for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how y'all feel. How do you feel about Memphis and Louisville renewing that rivalry for a 6-year series? And have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out.